probably, I think, Aiden, 20 million people came into our country with open borders, and many come from prisons. And you can be a liberal, and your people can be, but coming from some of the meanest prisons all over the world, not just South America, from all over the world, from the Congo and Africa, they come from all over the world, they're coming, and they're releasing their prisoners into the United States. Now, you can be a liberal guy, you can be progressive as anybody in the world, and you can't think that's a positive thing. No. They're coming out of mental institutions. They're pouring into the United States, and they're hurting and damaging our country, and they're killing our people. And the crime rate with what you're talking about and what we're talking about, we call it migrant crime. It's a new form of crime, and it's a very violent crime. And it's going to take on proportions the likes of which this country has never seen before. And remember, these people are just getting accustomed. These are people coming out of mental institutions, prisons and jails, and many terrorists. We're having record numbers of terrorists coming in. So I'm talking, I assume, mostly to a young audience, but a young audience, no matter where they're coming from, they can't be happy about this.
No, they can't. Jobs are being taken, a lot of crime. So President Trump, what do we do to fix that issue? What if I happen to be born in another country and I want to come the right way? How would that work?
Well, that's what we want. We want people to come in, but they have to come in through a system, through a legal system. And one of the things that's unfair is we have hundreds of thousands of people that have applied to come in, and this administration doesn't talk to them.
Right.
But if they walk through the southern border, they have no problem getting in. I don't even know why they're doing this, but some people are waiting 10 years to come in, and they've studied, they learned all about the United States, about our Constitution, about everything, and they're not being let in, and we're allowing people to come in from really rough places, real bad, it's hard to believe. But anyway, so Venezuela, their crime is down 72% because they've taken their criminal elements, which are large. It was a very dangerous place, especially Caracas and the different cities, and they've moved them into the United States of America. I know you're very happy. I know that your mother and father must be thrilled when they hear that.
Yeah.
Who happen to be here, I believe.
They are. They're right over there. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Are you thrilled with what they're doing? I don't think so. No. I don't think they're thrilled. I don't think so. So their crime rate is down 72%.
Right.
Because they're drug dealers, they're criminals, they're murderers, they're rapists. Everything's being moved into the United States. And soon they will have moved all of their criminals into the U.S. They won't have crime. So that's why I say we'll go to Venezuela for our next interview. Okay. It's a very serious problem. I mean, honestly, what they're doing to this country, they're destroying our country, Aiden. They're destroying stupid people. He's not a smart man. He wasn't smart 35 years ago. He wasn't smart 20 years ago. And now he's really not smart. No. And you saw that from the debate. I mean, he's really gone down the tubes. And look, she couldn't even pass her law exam. She couldn't pass her bar exam. And I'm not saying that because I know other people didn't pass their bar exam, but she thought she'd never be able to pass it. And this is who we have running our country. It's a shame. She's ultra-left, ultra-radical. I just see where 99 vicious terrorists, when she was, I guess, Attorney General, because she was Attorney General in California, she destroyed California. Her policies have destroyed California. Her policies, when she was the district attorney, have destroyed San Francisco. San Francisco was the best city in our country 20 years ago, and now it's, frankly, it's not even livable. We have to bring our cities back. We're going to have to focus on bringing our cities back.
It's actually really sad. I lived in California for a long time. Even Los Angeles, it's not safe. It's not safe. Everyone I know that lives in multi-million-dollar homes that do what I do, content, they're getting robbed. They're getting robbed. The police don't really they're not active out there as they are in some other states, and it's really sad. And I agree. I saw a video in San Francisco where people just walk into a Louis Vuitton and an Apple store and just loot, and leave like nothing ever happened. It's crazy.
They loot, and not only that, they have like $1,000 or $1,500, where she started, where she won't even prosecute if it's less than $1,500.
Wow.
So you see these people go in with like calculators, and they're adding the stuff that they're stealing because they won't be prosecuted. So that if they get nabbed, they say, no, it's less than whatever it is, $1,000.
Right.
And she started the concept of that, and it's now spreading. Our country, we need strong leadership. We didn't have stuff like this. When you look at what's happened to this country, and you look at other countries, crime rates all over the world are down. You know why? Because they're all dumping their bad people, their prisoners, and all of the people that are bad. They're not only the people on the streets, the people that are in jails. You know what they save by doing that? But they're dumping their prisoners and their criminal elements. They're dumping them into the United States of America. And our crime is going to go through the roof. It's going to go through the roof. And, you know, if we win, and I hope we win, we should win, we seem to be winning. And, you know, you can't even imagine that anybody would want these. This has nothing to do with me. Who would want these people? But can you imagine? They're just getting comfortable now, and they're criminals. So they're sort of laying low a little bit now because they're not comfortable. But soon they'll be comfortable, and they'll find that our police they're great.
Yeah.
But they're not allowed to do their job. They're not allowed to be strong, and they could do their job if they were let. But if they do their job, they have their pension knocked out. They have their car taken away, their family taken away, their house taken away. Everything's taken away, and they lose their job. It's a very rough thing being a policeman today, I'll tell you. But they could do the job. We're going to have to let them do their job. We have a crime-infested nation. We're a drug-addicted nation, and we're a crime-infested nation. Other than that, we're doing quite well.
Yeah. I want to move topics a little bit here. You know, I saw, I'm unfamiliar with exactly what it was called. You were speaking on stage with 3 other women, and you just got ambushed. They were late, and not a hi, hello, how are you? Just straight into it, just straight trying to rip you apart. And I think you handled it pretty well, but I wanted to ask you a question, like, why do you think, like, they just straight up do that for you, but then they're going to ask the other side, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
That's right. Well, I did this as a favor. This was the black journalists. The room had maybe 2,000. They said 2,000. It looked more like 1,000 to me, but whatever it was packed.
Yeah.
And I did it because I thought it was a good thing to do. And they had a journalist, I didn't know who she was, but she was nasty. She was a terrible person. And I walk in, and instead of saying, hello, thank you very much for doing this, they also said, Kamala's going to do it. But then Kamala said, she wants to do it because she can't talk to people. She can't answer questions. She hasn't done one interview. You know, she's not doing any interviews.
Yeah.
Because if she did one interview where a hard question's asked, she's incapable of answering it. But I walk in, and this woman starts talking about, she talked about, let's get rid of the elephant in the room. And she starts talking about racism and everything. I said, you didn't even say hello to me. And I'm doing them a favor by doing this. I'm doing this out of respect to the black community. And we're getting record numbers, as you know, in the black community. And she came across, you know, she's with ABC Fake News, which is one of the worst. ABC is one of the worst.
Right.
And she is horrible. So she was very nasty. Harris Faulkner was there. She was excellent. The other person I didn't know, she was okay. I wouldn't say she was great, but she was okay. But I did it, and it was quite a sensation. Actually, a lot of people think it was well handled. The woman was so rude.
So rude.
That, you know, it's hard to believe. You can walk into a thing, and I do them a favor, and I do this. Most people said, why are you doing it? I feel I have an obligation to do it. I want to look you become the president for all of the people, not for a certain segment.
Correct.
Not even for just my, you know, they talk about my base, it's a very big base. But you become president for all of the people. So I feel you have an obligation to do that. Now, she's not doing anything. She's not doing any interviews because I don't believe she's capable. She starts, I don't know, she's strange. The whole thing is strange. Let's put it this way. Our country's in big trouble.
Yeah. I spoke to your son, Don Jr., when I met you in Doral.
Right.
I spoke to Don Jr. a little bit. He said, man, I feel for the young generation. You guys are, look at this. Like, look what's going on here. Like, it's like you need these next 4 years. If not, I don't know how well the country's going to do after these 4 years.
I don't think it survives. I really don't.
Damn.
Look, we're going to have 20 million people in by the time this election takes place. 20 million people. That's bigger than New York State. Many of those people are people that you should not have, and we're all for everything. You know, all men are created equal, as the expression goes. Right?
Of course.
And now today they say all men and women are created equal. When they wrote that, it was a slightly different time. Today, it's that alone is a politically incorrect statement.
Yeah, it is.
So all men and women are created equal, everything. But the fact is, when you're dumping all of these criminals and all of these drug dealers, all of these people into our country, you're really hurting our country badly. And it has to be, we have to take very strong measures.
We definitely do. We definitely do. Moving to the next. Oh,
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know they were allowed to applaud. That's
yeah, they're allowed to applaud. You guys can keep applauding.
all right. That's common sense, right? You know, it is about common sense. I mentioned that term because whether you're conservative, liberal, it's all about common sense.
It is.
You want to have good education. You want to have borders. You want to have low interest rates, be able to buy a house. You want to, so many different things. But you got to have common sense. And we're run by people. And, just a little thing. When I started campaigning almost like 8 years ago, I talked about Merry Christmas. We should have Merry Christmas again. Let's bring back Merry Christmas. You weren't allowed to say Merry Christmas. I got it back.
It's a nice crowd, huh?
Even if you're Jewish, they like to say Merry Christmas. Every one of my Jewish friends say, we love Merry Christmas.
I'm Jewish. I love Merry Christmas.
Good. And Kamala doesn't, though. Kamala,
She doesn't like it?
She doesn't want you to use Merry Christmas.
Wow.
She thinks it's insulting to use Merry Christmas. So we'll have to work on her.
I wanted to ask you a question. Speaking of, you said something about common sense, someone who has no common sense, Joe Biden. Do you think he was pushed out, or do you think he made the decision to step down?
No, he was not only pushed out, it was a coup. I'm telling you. They went in to see him. He did badly. The debate was a disaster.
It was horrible.
Okay. I don't know if I was brilliant or if he was horrible. Maybe it was a combination of both.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
I know one thing. They were saying after I left, they said, that was one of the greatest debate performances we've ever seen. And then 2 days later, they just said he was terrible.
Right.
They never gave. They
Right.
took away the great debate performance stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I mean, I did fine, and he is. He shouldn't have. Look, he's done tremendous damage to our country. He was a terrible president. He was the worst president we've ever had. She's, by the way, considered the most unpopular vice president we've ever had. But she's she's worse than he is. I actually think he's smarter than her, and I think he's a really not smart person. But I think he's smarter than she is. But she was convenient. She was there. They have better people. I mean, they have much better people. In fact, all of the people that she's looking at are considered much better than her. These were people that were thinking about running. They would have run, except that they didn't want to go through this roadblock with her, and because you're the vice president. So they wanted to go pick them, and I think virtually every one of them is considered better, smarter, would be a better president than her. But we can't allow her to be president. She's going to destroy our country.
She'll ruin it. I mean, already it's ridiculous what she's saying.
And by the way, the youth is so important because youth tends to be Democrat, and as they get older, they become Republican. That's what's happening. We can't wait 50 years. We can't. Make the move now. All of you young people, and he's got a lot of them. All I know is my kids say, Dad, you have no idea how big this interview is. I said, don't tell me that. But make the move now. Don't wait 50 years. Our country doesn't have 50 years.
Damn. That's crazy to think about. I want to ask you a question. She did a rally recently. She had a rapper speak, and then she had a rapper twerk at a rally.
Yeah.
A rapper was twerking at a rally.
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts on that. It's crazy to me to think that there could be twerking at a rally.
Well, what Hillary did is she would go out and get Bruce Springsteen. He'd get much smaller crowds than I got, to be honest. And he had a guitar, right? I don't have a guitar. But he would fill up a place, and then he'd finish, and they'd all leave, and she'd be speaking. So now Kamala's doing the same thing, because nobody wants to go watch her. Nobody.
No.
I mean, she speaks for like a short. Nobody's going to want to watch her, and nobody does want to watch. Now, at least there's a little bit of curiosity, but there's no value really in going and watching her. So what she did is she's gotten a couple of rappers, and they fill up the place. But what she does is a little bit different. She has them go last. That's smart. I give. So in other words, they want her to finish her speech, get the hell off the stage, and then they can listen to the rap.
The performance starts.
No, it's pretty.
It's kind of smart.
Hillary didn't. No, I give her credit.
Yeah, give it to her a little bit.
Hillary never figured that out. She'd get some star, and the star would fill up the place, and then the star would leave, they would leave, everybody would leave, and she's talking to an empty stadium. Anyway, this is a little better idea.
Yeah, I want to move on to the fun stuff now. I think we've definitely talked on some ideas, and and policies, excuse me. But I want to know the fun stuff because you are a fun guy. You know, I've heard a lot from a lot of people how cool you are, especially Dana. Shout out to Dana. I know you're watching.
Dana.
Yeah, he's the
There's
greatest.
nobody like him, you know? I always say everybody can be replaced except Dana. Because this guy travels the world looking for fighters, okay? Get me fighters. He doesn't care where they from countries nobody ever heard of. And that's where he finds the best fighters. Now,
Yeah.
he cannot be replaced. He's truly great at what he does.
He's the coolest. I know you're a UFC fan, right?
I am.
Who are like your favorite fighters?
Well, I think Khabib, I mean, how good is Khabib? Do you know who Khabib is?
Of course I know who Khabib is.
Khabib was 29, 28 and 0, and then his father died and he stopped. But I think he never lost. I don't think he ever lost a round. Like,
Wow.
he fought many times. He never lost like a round. And I thought he was a great. I got to meet him at a fight 2 fights ago because I walk in with Dana. Sometimes I do this walk in, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's where I first met you.
Yeah, that's right. Come to that.
Yeah.
If I didn't get any applause, you wouldn't want me on this show. You'd say, forget him. No, we get big applause. We walk in together.
It's crazy. You shut it down.
No, I met Khabib though, and he was very. He came to me and he said, "You're the man that can stop the war," because he's talking about the war with Ukraine, Russia.
Of course.
Because he knows they're his people. I mean, on both sides, right? There's so many people dying in that war, and the whole culture is being destroyed. You know, the cities are coming down. They're just pouring bombs in. And he really, it was amazing. We weren't talking about fighting. We were talking about a different kind of fighting, a much worse kind of fighting. And he was very concerned about that whole thing, that war. He said, you can get it stopped, and I can get it stopped. I will have that stopped before I assume off. I will, if I win the election, the first thing I'm going to do is get Putin and get Zelensky, I know them both very well, and get them to make a deal because it's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy.
It is. And it's like your rallies, the crowd, huh?
I know. I like this crowd. I think it's good. I like you people. You know what they are, though? They're people that want to see the country do well.
That's it.
It's people that just like, they don't want to see crime.
Right.
They don't want to be mugged, because they're selfish in that respect. They'd prefer not being mugged, right? But they don't want other people to be mugged, beaten up, shot, and killed. In Chicago, on July 4th weekend, they had 117 people shot. Think of this. You live there. 117 people were shot, 17 died. This is in one weekend, July 4th weekend.
Wow.
I mean, nobody wants that. If you're living in Chicago, you have a good chance of, something bad happening. When you're going to go buy a loaf of bread, and something really bad could happen. So we don't want to, and they don't want that. The people behind me, who I just met briefly, they're great, but they're like other people. People don't want crime. They don't want to go to wars. They want to be able to make money. They want to be able to have a good life. They want a great education. All the things that you want, just the basic things. And we don't have that now.
It's really sad, honestly. And I
Well,
know.
think of this, Israel. You're Jewish. Are you a fan of Israel?
Yeah.
It would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened if I was president. And everybody admits it. Iran was broke. They had no money. I wouldn't let anybody buy oil from Iran. As soon as Biden comes in, he didn't have a clue. He let everything happen. But Iran was totally broke. They had no money. And I wouldn't let them, nobody. China, I said, you buy oil from Iran and you can't do business in the United States. They said, we'll pass. I mean, that's fine. But I did that with everybody. And we would have had a deal, 100% we would have had a deal, and there would have been no attack. There was no money left. Iran had no money. We would have made a deal. We would have made a fair deal for them. I would have loved to have made a fair deal. I'm not looking to, I just want them, they can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon. You cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. So what happens is we worked very hard on that, and then he comes in and he allows everybody to go. China now is buying millions, billions and billions of dollars worth of oil, and Iran now is a very rich country, and October 7th would have never happened. And it wouldn't happen because they didn't have the money to pay Hamas and Hezbollah and all of these, they call them instruments of terror, a lot of different names. And so October 7th would have never happened. The recent attack on the park would have never happened. That was so graphic and so, normally you don't see that. Normally the media cuts it off, but they didn't have time to cut it off because it was during the day, very public. And you'd see children with their legs cut off Those initial scenes were so horrible, where a rocket landed in a little soccer field. Just terrible. All of that stuff would have never happened. And we'll get it stopped fast, by the way. We'll get it stopped fast. There's no games.
Amazing. Well, everyone that's watching, everyone behind, just know that your vote really does matter. And you guys really have a big decision coming up in November. You guys got to really go out there and vote for the right person, which is him.
Wow, that's come in.
Do a little alley-oop there.
You know, it's funny that you do it, but now I know why you're so popular, because I've been on for years with people that really do like me, and they're even fair to me and everything else, but they wouldn't do what you just, they wouldn't say, vote for him, you know. They do, they're short of that. They wouldn't do it, they vote for me, but they wouldn't say it. I think it's great that you can say something like that. I think it's ethical, it's fair, it's smart. And if you felt that way about somebody else, that's okay too. But you know, you have journalists today, like that one that intercepted me, literally. That was like a booby trap. I walk in and she starts saying, "We got to start a meeting." She didn't say, "Oh, thank you very much for being here."
No.
Just like the worst. And frankly, if I owned that network, I would fire her so fast. It was so inappropriate. And I actually, you know, once you sort of walk out, then you put the guard up, and you actually give less information than what you would have if they did it with sugar, right? But she doesn't know about sugar, that one. That was sort of terrible. It became viral, #1 viral.
Yeah.
And it was the question that was viral. Mm-hmm. I think my answers were sort of good.
They were really good.
I think they considered to be, I can't brag, but they were considered to be very good. But the level of hatred and craziness, and you don't know, is that from the head of the network or is that from her? But ABC, I've said for a long time, ABC is one. You have George Slopadopoulos. I don't know if you know him, but he's a nasty guy. You know, you sit down, and yet to Biden, he interviews Biden. I said, there's no way that Biden can handle this guy if the guy is like normal,
right,
like he normally is.
Yeah.
He was so nice to Biden. He asked him and then when Biden couldn't answer, which he can't answer most of the questions because he has no clue where he is, Slopadopoulos is giving him the answers. He's giving the question. And isn't it true that you really don't want to see war? Isn't that true? Yeah. No, the whole thing is crazy. Anyway.
I want to real quick talk about one thing. It was super important to me when I saw it. Censorship. You know, I don't know if you saw what Elon had posted. Elon basically showed, if you were to Google Donald Trump about a week ago, all you see is Kamala. That's all you see is Kamala. It's crazy. Google was really, really trying to push her.
So Google is really crooked. It's horrible when they had the word assassination up, because, you know, there was a big moment a few weeks ago where I got whacked. I got whacked. And whether it's me or anybody else, it was a terrible thing. Terrible thing. For our country, it was terrible, for everything. And when you put up the name, the word assassination, it went to Lincoln, it went to many other people, many of whom I didn't even know there was an attempted assassination. The only one it didn't have was Trump. Think of it. And when you put up the word assassination, it also sent you to Kamala. And people were really angry at it. Look, something wrong with Google. I don't know if it's the people running it inside or the smaller people, so to speak, the people that are actually doing the nuts and bolts. I doubt it. It's got to come from the top. And it's so illegitimate, they have to do something about it. And, I mean, the market speaks. Everybody should maybe just go off Google, not use it. There are so many other things. Watch your show instead. But there are so many things. Now, Mark Zuckerberg called me, and he apologized. They actually had it where, you know, AI is dangerous. It's going to be with us, but it's very dangerous. They actually had, the Secret Service agents were very brave, because when I was being shot at, there were 8 shots. And as soon as they heard that first gun, I did think I did a good job, because I heard and I went down. You know, when you hear bullets, you tend to drop to the floor if you're intelligent.
Of course.
If you're not intelligent, like, I don't think Joe would have dropped to the floor. I think it's...
No, I think you would have just been like, what's going on?
Hey, what's happening?
What is that?
Where are those bullets?
Is that a bird?
Oh, there they are. There they are. No. I don't think he would have dropped to the floor.
Right.
But anyway, it's when you hear this and when you see what's going on, and he called up, and there's a very iconic picture that was taken. But there's a number of them, actually. But there's one in particular that was very iconic, and it's been on the covers with the fists up. And the secret agents, service agents, and you know, I know they're going through a little bit of a questioning period. Let me tell you, these people were brave because those bullets were coming at me, and I heard them. They were whizzing over my head. I had the one here, and I went down, and they were whizzing over, and I had 7 people, maybe, a lot of people, a lot of very big people on top of me within seconds.
Right.
And a lot of people that I know would not have done that. Aiden, I'm telling you, when bullets are coming right over you, and you got people willing to, I asked a couple of them, they expected to die. They actually expected to die, and I understood that.
Yeah.
The other thing that happened that was amazing is within 5 seconds, the sniper, the Secret Service sniper, from a much further distance, 1 bullet, and didn't know about it. Now, it was a communication problem, a big one, and had it taken place, 10 seconds earlier, would have been good. But there was a communications problem. But he, supposedly, I don't think he knew. I mean, I've gone through it too. I don't think the sniper knew anything about it. He may have heard there could be a problem, but he didn't know anything about it. Think of it. A thing like that happens. He went by the gun and the fire of the gun. And I guess when the bullets come out, you see fire. And he was able to see that from probably more than 300 yards away. So that's 3 football fields. That's a lot. And 1 bullet took him out. And if he didn't shoot him, you would have had probably a lot of people dead.
Right.
Probably a lot of people would have been dead. He had a lot of bullets up there. He had a powerful gun, and he had a lot of bullets up there. And the reason he stopped was he got hit 5 seconds. That's a pretty amazing job when you think, it's sort of a surreal experience. Right?
Yeah.
And you could say that for them, too. And they go years, and they don't have to do that. They don't have to shoot people. And then all of a sudden, they're confronted, and they see somebody firing. And a lot of people wouldn't react like that. They wouldn't, they'd say, let's call in and find out what's going on.
Right.
His reaction time, I think, was amazing. So there was a big communication problem, and they'll get that straightened out. But the Secret Service people were very brave, and that sniper was very talented to hit a target like that from so far away.
Right. Mr. President, I do want to say, first of all, you took a bullet for everyone in this room, everyone watching, everyone. The reaction that you gave, no other president is going to do that. They're going to either remain, where they are. You are a brave man. You stood up and went like this, and that was a pretty badass picture, by the way.
Well, I will say, though, that the audience was very brave also, the fans, the people, and it's much more than MAGA. Although I think MAGA is almost everybody because it's what we talk about.
Yeah.
But all of those people were tens of thousands of people as far as the eye could see, and then the people in the back. And those are the people you see because the cameras are focused on that. We have the bleacher in the back with, 100 to 150 people or something. But those people never moved. And if you go to crowd, we had a crowd-controlled type person, said whenever a bullet is fired, they know a bullet and they know a sound. And we had a lot of bullets fired. So when you think of it, plus the Secret Service, whenever a bullet's fired, everybody empties out immediately. They immediately leave and they empty out the whole stadium, and they call it a stampede, like in cattle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get killed with stampedes. They get literally
Stomped
walked
over.
over. Many people die in soccer stadiums. But when a bullet goes off, everyone leaves, almost every time.
Yeah.
Nobody left. And you had the man behind me. He's looking like this. He's looking. There was no fear. It was amazing. They knew that I was in trouble. They saw that. They saw the blood because the blood. I guess you get hit in the ear. I can tell you, a lot of blood when you get hit in the ear. That's one thing we learn. We learn all these things, unfortunately. But they saw there was a big problem. Normally, when they hear that, they're all, they disperse. Nobody left. I mean, you take a look at that. Now, that was a microcosm of what was out in front of me because the speech was being made to thousands of people.
Right.
And nobody there was leaving either. It was really amazing. They knew there was a problem. And when I got up, they were confused because Secret Service was lifting me. I guess I was getting up, and I'm looking for my shoes. I didn't want to go on they had stretchers and stuff. I didn't want to go on stretchers. I didn't want to do that. But it was amazing. And they were confused because you could be up, but you're not looking too good. And I felt it was important to let people know that I was okay and our country was okay, in a true sense that our country was okay. And so I did that, and the audience was just, they were, I mean, USA,
Yeah.
wild. It was a hell of a horrible experience, but I learned a lot about the love in this country. Think of it, a bullet goes off, everyone leaves, and his bullets going off. They just,
Again, a true hero.
they were heroes. The way they didn't move, you have to watch that group behind them, because that was the same as the group in front, the big group. And it wasn't like, geez, normally they'd say, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
How do we do
that's
this?
true.
They
They just
weren't.
stood
They
and watched.
saw I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to move.
No.
And many of them were standing up, and they were looking. One man in particular with a floppy hat and wearing like a black T-shirt, and he's out there just looking. It's a fascinating thing to see. And when you hear crowd control people say, we can't even imagine that happened, that shows their love for me, maybe, but for the country. And it was pretty amazing.
That's great.
Thank you.
So, I got you a gift. Well, a couple gifts.
Oh, good. That's good.
I'll show you, another gift. I'll show you, the second gift a little bit later.
Okay.
But I did get you a gift, and I got you this gift because, look, you are, I feel like you constantly get beat on, but you're so strong, and you just, like I said, you live for the people, and you're a hero. I want to present to you this gift right here. I hope you like watches, Rolexes.
Wow. Oh, that's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
Should I open it?
You should open it and then show the camera.
That's a great watch, actually. Good company. There's good company.
You like Rolex?
They like Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player and Arnold Palmer and all the golf guys and all the other guys, too. I do. This is beautiful. Wow. Thank you. Don't they have nice packaging?
They do. Really, really nice.
Wow, that's so nice. Oh, should I show that to the audience?
Yeah, they can see it.
Oh, I didn't know this. Now I know it's worth it. Wow. Well, my boys said, "Oh, that's such a big show." I don't know what you're doing, but you really are respected. Amazing. I mean,
I appreciate it.
I go into other shows, nobody does a big deal about it.
I do want to say also,
Thank you very much.
shout out to
That's
Nelk
so
boys.
nice.
I know you love Nelk.
Oh, they're great.
They're the greatest.
Well, that was through Dana. Dana's very much into this world. Dana's a young guy, sort of,
Yeah.
He's a young guy, sort
Yeah.
of. But Dana is into this world like he could be an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
He knows more about you and the Nelk brothers and the Nelk boys, and he asked me to do their show. And I will tell you, I got a tremendous response. You do some of these big shows, you do like 60 minutes, and nobody cares. You do Nelk or you, and I can already see so many people going, I hear you're doing the show with Adin.
Oh, wow.
I said, I've had a lot of calls. So it's like a new wave.
Yeah.
It's a new thing. Who would think it? And sometimes television is not the big deal. I sort of feel that television will always be television.
Yeah.
But numbers aren't like they used to be.
No, I would say, live streaming and YouTube is kind of like the new age television for, younger people. So I did have some clips I wanted to react to.
Okay.
So this is the fun stuff I wanted to get into. Let's get into the reactions right here. This is so cool. I'm actually reacting with you. All right.
I put you on Truth.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Truth is my voice,
Yeah.
And it's doing great.
Yeah.
Everybody should go on Truth.
Yeah.
But I will say that I put you on that we're doing the show together, and the response was very cool.
I love
Very
it.
cool.
I love it. Okay, so shout out to Nelk, but they kind of gave me this idea. I have two segments I want to do with you.
Okay.
The first one is use one word that comes to mind to describe that person. Okay?
Okay.
It's a fun game.
Fun.
Let's start. All right, who is the first picture? And we got the Nelk boys. One word.
Oh, great.
I love that. Okay,
Really
great.
good.
Okay.
So you're friends with them.
Yeah.
Are they competitors of yours, though?
Not even, honestly. Every time that I speak to Kyle or Steve.
Yeah,
It's just only
they're all
love.
great.
They're really, really
No,
good.
they're
Jimmy.
just great.
Yeah.
But in a way, you would be competitors, but you don't even.
They're more bigger on the YouTube side of things. I'm more
Right.
live, so it's a lot. It's a
see.
different
I see.
world,
So it's different,
but
yeah.
it's kind of like parallel.
Look at them. I mean, they're just great people. That was Dana White. He said, you got to do them. I said, who are they? I didn't know. And after I did them, it was like an explosion.
All right, let's see what we got next here. We got me.
Yeah. Well, I can just tell you that one word would be outstanding. My sons told me about you, and they told me about how big Dad. My Baron.
Yeah.
He said, Dad, he's really big. I said, yeah, but what about else? He said, he's also a friend of mine, right?
Yeah.
But big stuff, Adin. So I just have to say outstanding to do what you've done at a young age, and I know how old you are. You're young. You're seriously young. My suit is older than you are.
How old's your suit?
I don't know. Who the hell?
Thank you, Mr. President. All right, let's see who we got next. We got you.
Patriot. I'm a patriot.
Okay. Joe Rogan.
Interesting. He really is. He's an amazing guy. He's a very interesting guy.
So who we got next? Mr. White.
Oh, well, he's a fighter. I'll tell you, that guy, he fights. You wouldn't want to have him against you. A little bit true with all of these people that you're showing. There's a good one. Elon, a genius, truly a genius. I see the rockets come down with the engines, and they're coming down, and the engines are landing without any. They have no wings, no nothing. That was a couple of years ago. I said,
Right.
what is that? And I said, what was that all about? He says, well, we want to be able to save the engines, not that they go into the ocean and all. But he really is. He's a genius. He's also a very good person, Elon.
Let's see what we got next here. We got Kanye.
So he's very complicated. Let's say complicated. Because he's a really nice guy, but he can get himself into trouble, and he can get some other people. But he's got a good heart. He does. But he's complicated. Kanye. Fake, but in all fairness, look. But she knows it. She's got a thing going. It's a good thing. She's a good thing for her. But there's a certain something she's got. She's got a spark. That's pretty amazing, actually. She's got a good spark. So I'll change it. I'll say spark. She does have. She gets on. When she was running against a gentleman from Queens, and I asked his people, I said, are you careful? This guy was going to be Speaker of the House. It was going to be him, not Nancy Pelosi. And Joe, he is a good politician, a real pro, been around for a long time, many years in Congress. And I watched her on television one time. I saw a clip of her speaking, ranting, raving, going crazy. And I said, who's she running against? She's running against Joe. I said, oh, does he know what's going on? Oh, he's got no problem, sir. He's got no problem. I said, is he doing any debates? No, he doesn't have to bother with the debates. He's been there for years. I said, tell him I said that he should be careful. Because I saw her. And I said, she's Evita. I called her Evita. Maybe that's the best. Evita Peron, right? I said, she's Evita. She's in the streets screaming, shouting, going crazy, hugging people, hugging. Everybody's being hugged. I said, he better be careful. And she took him out. So, I give her credit. But she's got a lot of sizzle. Well, there's a powerful man. He's a powerful man. I know him very well. I know him probably better than anybody in this country knows him, and got to know him extremely well. We had a great relationship until COVID. COVID was a step too far, but we did very well with China, and President Xi. We did very, very well with China. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars. No president took in 10 cents. I took in. And I exposed China. Look, I want China to do great. Okay, but they can't take advantage of us like they were doing for years and years, we'd lose $500 billion a year in trade, all of it. But then COVID came in, and it really, I changed, but I will have a very good relationship with him. There's no going to war with him. He doesn't want to go to war. We're not going to go to war. And we had a very good relationship, actually. He was right in this room. He came to this country, and he stayed here for a number of days, as you remember. And we had incredible meetings, a very famous meeting in the dining room, actually. But he loves his country, and he's very strong and very powerful and very interesting. But he really does love his country, I can tell you that.
Let's see who we got next on this list.
Yeah. Gavin Newscomb. You spelled it? No, you spelled his last name.
He literally ruined California. Beautiful state. California is beautiful. He ruined it.
And when you watch him, he's always saying, "Oh, we're doing so great."
Right,
We're not
right.
doing great. I mean, I have holdings in California, and I own a golf course right on the ocean, right on the Pacific Ocean in Palos Verdes. So beautiful. It's a club. It's big, many acres, hundreds of acres, and it's fantastic. But California is so precious. One of the most beautiful places in the world in terms of weather,
For sure.
in terms of everything. And they're just destroying it with crime. The crime is out of control. It's a very dangerous place. And I think it's a shame because I like him. I got along with him great. I helped him a lot with his fires. I kept saying, why don't you do something about the forest fires?
Yeah.
There's no reason to have that. There's no management. They have no management control over the forests. I said, you have to do things. But I got along with him great, but he has not done the job.
No.
He has not done the job. Sad.
Got a few more. Let's see what we got next.
Yeah. He's turned very liberal, actually. They say he's the son of Fidel Castro, and could be. I mean, anything's possible in this world, You're going to learn as you get older. You've seen a lot already for your age. Per age, I would say. Per year spent, you've seen as much as anybody. But Justin Trudeau is... I get along with him very well, actually, but he seems to be going very progressive, and the people of Canada are not liking it. I mean, if they had a good conservative person, which maybe they do, maybe they don't, I don't know, but somebody that's a strong conservative would win in Canada. Canada is very unhappy about the way they've been treated as people. But I got along with him well. Now, this man I really got along with well. We had... Little Rocket Man, we had the red button. He said, I have a red button on my desk. And I said, no, I have a red button too, and mine's bigger than yours and mine worked. And it was a really bad month and a half. He was very, very tough on President Obama, very tough on everybody. It's the hermit nation, and it really is. I mean, I said to him, do you know Elton John? No. I said, did you ever hear the song Rocket Man? And I actually played him the song Rocket Man. He said, no, I've never heard it. I said, you're Rocket Man. He said, no, you call me Little Rocket Man, not Rocket Man. But I tell you what, so we had a very nasty 2 months. People were actually worried about it because it could have been dangerous. But President Obama told me that this was the single biggest threat to the United States, was Kim Jong-un of North Korea. And one day, I got a call from people that wanted to see me about him, and he wanted to meet. He did not want to meet with Obama, did not want to meet with anybody. Got tremendous nuclear capability. He does, and we've checked that closely, and he does. I got to know him very well, and I got along with him great. He's very smart. He's very strong. He's the absolute leader. A lot of people say, oh, maybe he's not the leader. He's the absolute. When he's around, his people are standing up at attention. I've never seen. We were at a luncheon. They had 20 people on his side and 20 people on mine, looking at each other.
Right.
In Singapore, we had a meeting in Singapore. It was the biggest press conference I've ever had. There were thousands of paparazzi. I've never seen anything like it. I think people said they've never seen anything like it. I was walking in, he was walking in. We met in the middle, remember? And
Yeah, of course.
The place just went crazy. But we got along very well. He's very, very smart. And, he's a real power. He's a real power. I think he's upset that I'm not there. Nothing would have happened with him. We would have gotten along with him fine. I was trying to get him to do, his his country is, you talk about location, I'm a real estate guy. He's right between, think of this, Russia, China, one side, and South Korea on the other. I said, you have a great piece of real estate. You could make so much. You could have gorgeous things. I said to him, think about gorgeous condos going up on your shore. He's got a lot of ocean. He's got ocean frontage on both sides, right? But I got along with him great. We would have had no problem with him. Now he's getting very angry with us, and he's getting very angry with, I understand he doesn't like her. He doesn't know her, but he forms opinions, and he doesn't like her. And he thought that Biden was a stupid man, a very stupid man. He would say that, but I say the same thing, so at least we agree on something. But Biden is, they really have hurt our country. These people have hurt our country. Kim Jong-un was great for as long as he was there. As long as I was there, there was going to be no problem, that I can tell you. We met in Singapore. I got to know him so well. And, you know, I always say that we have enemies from within, and we have enemies on the outside. So he would be considered, I guess, an enemy. I think he would be absolutely fine. China, the same thing. I always say if you have a smart president, you don't have a problem with the outside. But you still will have a problem with the inside because these people are sick. They're sick. And the people from the inside, I mean, they're willing to take down our country. It's incredible. When I look at guys like Adam Shifty Schiff, he's such a bad guy, such a liar with the Russia hoax. It was a total hoax. It went on for 2.5 years, and total exoneration, nothing to do with Russia. The opposite. I was the worst thing that ever happened to Russia because I stopped the pipeline, the Russia pipeline. It's called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2. But, you know, it was just 2 years of this stuff. And actually putting our country in danger because you put your country in danger with another country. They made up a hoax. It was made up by Hillary and Adam Shifty Schiff and